Rockets free agency will be underway in just a few hours. And I give my predictions coming up next, guys. Cue the intro. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of The Lead. Your host, as always, Harley Dugan. The Houston Rockets NBA free agency will be kicking off around 5 p.m. in just a few hours. Now, last year, I had one prediction correct, and it was Jae'Sean Tate signing with the Houston Rockets, and I just thought that was going to be possibly the biggest move for them as of last year. So hopefully I get it right again. I'm going to be more wrong than I am right, and that's just how it is always will be. But there is smoke, and when there is smoke, there is fire. And we have a few free agents that are the Rockets targets coming into 2021, and the biggest one is Daniel Theis, being 6'8", 250 pounds, formerly from the Boston Celtics. He was also with the Bulls. But Daniel Theis could be a really good pickup for the Houston Rockets. It's been reported by Jonathan Fagan from the Houston Chronicle, many reports from The Athletic as well. So there's a lot of smoke surrounding Daniel Theis. Do the Rockets sign him? I'm pretty sure they do. It seems like a pretty good move. Now, they would have to use some of their trade exceptions. They got 13 players on the team as of now. You're not going to see a lot of big, bold moves from the Rockets. I expect them to, add some veteran presence because it's needed with a young team. If you don't trade Eric Gordon and John Wall, obviously John Wall and Eric Gordon will be traded, but we haven't really seen anything come about with them any recently. The only thing was Eric Gordon to possibly the Indiana Pacers. And then I saw some reports that said that the Rockets were trying to frantically move Eric Gordon as fast as possible, and they just couldn't really come up with a deal. So, you still need the veteran presence. B, you still need some shooting on this team. Now, granted, KJ Martin did improve his three-point percentage as the season went along. Hopefully, he does the same thing in the offseason, as well as Jae'Sean Tate. Jae'Sean Tate struggled from three-point land, but improved as the season went along. Something else, hopefully, he focused on in this offseason. And then Kevin Porter Jr., another guy that struggled from the three-point line. Hopefully, it's something that he also took into account this offseason. So, yes, the Rockets still need shooters on this team. Another thing that they really need, and that could fill a spot, is Daniel Theis is a big. And yes, Daniel Theis is about 6'8", 6'9", but he gives you a different type of defensive presence. He can pop a three every once in a while. He can extend the range. He's not obviously consistent, but he's a very solid three-point shooter, solid free throw shooter as well. Daniel Theis can be a really good pickup for this Houston Rockets team. A few other names to possibly take a look at. Someone like a Justice Winslow from the Memphis Grizzlies. Obviously everyone's going to be like, Justice Winslow? Yeah, because, last name is Winslow. He's kind of accustomed to, U of H, Houston Rockets. There we go. Sounds like a match made in heaven, and I'm just not up for it. Justice Winslow is a guy defensively, sure, it's going to be a really good pickup. Offensively, unless he improves his three-point shot, in which he hasn't, Justice Winslow hasn't made really any improvements to his offensive game whatsoever during his time in the NBA. Defensively, he's stout, 6'6", 230, like he's a big dude. It could be a really good pickup for this team defensively. And that's what Rafael Stone has been focusing on during the NBA draft, grabbing a guy like Usman Garuba and getting some other guys that focus heavily on defense. Obviously, re-signing David Nwaba could be another move that they should do. David Nwaba was absolutely amazing for this Rockets team last year, playing through injuries, playing through the sprained wrist, really got Steven Silas's credit to him. So David Nwaba should be a guy that the Houston Rockets definitely bring back on a relatively cheap deal. Shouldn't be anything expensive at all. And then another name that the Houston Rockets could look into, possibly Doug McDermott, solves two of the check marks, somewhat three, in which a guy that is a shooter, B, a veteran, and C, somewhat of a big man. By a big man, or like a stretch four, and Doug McDermott, doesn't play no defense, but a guy that's just a pure shooter, a little, playmaking ability from Jalen Green and KPJ to kick it out to Doug McDermott. I'm all down for that. Ain't nothing wrong with that if you're a Rocket fan. Another guy that the Houston Rockets can go after, let's say if Daniel Theis does get a little expensive, in which a team, has some interest in bringing a Daniel Theis to them, but you can still re-sign Kelly Olynyk. You still have the bird rights to him. What do bird rights mean? Basically, you can go over the cap space to re-sign him. And Kelly Olynyk, as we saw last year, contributed to this team better than all of us thought. A lot of people were like, Kelly Olynyk. And we come to find out he doesn't fit in Miami, and he comes to Houston, and this dude was called Goat Olynyk for a reason by Rockets Twitter. Like, it was absolutely amazing to see what he can do. You found out, A, he's a really good passer. B, he can still shoot the ball. C, he's dropping points, getting rebounds, playing defense, doing his thing. He felt comfortable. He had an Instagram post after the season was over, basically implying that he would love to come back for the Houston Rockets. So why not stir anything different and just go out there and re-sign David Nwaba, re-sign Kelly Olynyk, and both guys would, put you over the salary cap unless you get somebody that goes on a minimum deal. Olynyk could be a really good find that you did last year and just bring him back again. He had a game where he dropped 27 points, 8 assists, 11, 13 rebounds or whatnot. Like, Olynyk was an absolute baller for the Houston Rockets, and it'd be pretty dumb not to entertain him to come back to Houston. And then last but not least, I love this one specifically, and I don't believe we can get him, but a guy in Zach Collins would be an absolute awesome find for the Houston Rockets. I think Zach Collins is a really good defensive big man playing at the 5. I think he could pair well with a Christian Wood. Defensively, he's awesome. Offensively, he's still got a lot to grow on his game overall, but Collins, still being young, can fit that trajectory of what the Houston Rockets are doing with the young core. I am a big fan of Collins. I'm not sure they can get him, because I still believe there's going to be a team that will overpay, and it's NBA free agency. Everybody pretty much gets overpaid. But Zach Collins is a guy that's been linked to the Rockets. It's been reported by Bleacher Report, as well as Jonathan Fagan from the Houston Chronicles. So I don't count it out. And with Rafael Stone, I won't count anybody or anything out. So that's it for today's video, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for the notice to turn on. Drop your comments, your reactions down below in the comment section. Let me know, what do you think about the Houston Rockets and what free agents you think they're going to get? Drop them down in the comments below. As always, guys, go Astros, go Rockets, go Texans. You have a blessed day.